Okay, today we're going to look at something very retro and postmodernist. We're going to look at page 59, reading for instructions on how to conduct a search on the internet. So I'm going to read through this, you follow along, and I'll make comments as we go. I know this is horribly out of date. I know it's not necessarily relevant to you anymore. So let's have a look at the pre-reading. Instructions that help you to search on the internet effectively are part of the search engine websites. Oh dear, referring to the search engine as search engine websites is really out of date. A search engine is a catalogue of information. No, it's not. It's not. When you type keywords into the search box on the search engine website, it will search the internet for pages where these words can be found. Actually, it's a progressive algorithm that searches through other people's catalogues. None of this is going to be right. Okay, so.
Okay. So why are we doing this?
Page 60, how to search. Click on the search box and type in the keywords you want. Capitalize names of people and places. For example, type Rock Hudson. I'm guessing that you don't even know who Rock Hudson is.
Rock Hudson. Oh.
For example, type Rock Hudson. Now, you probably don't even know who Rock Hudson is. And to be fair, 20 years ago when this book was first printed, Rock Hudson was already long dead. He was a famous masculine actor that then turned out to be gay and died of AIDS, basically. Not a good role model. And somebody that was long dead when I was a child, so this is just stupid. If you capitalize adjacent names, found it.
Found it.
Found it treats the word as a single name or title. If you don't capitalize a name or title, it will be treated like any other group of words. You will find sites about rock climbing, rock music, and Hudson River, along with sites about the movie actor.
We barely care about this.
I guess that's kind of true. It is true. As a writer, we have to put in a lot of thought into our names and the titles of our books. I could title my book The Adventure, and no one is ever going to find it. So we have to be very creative with our titles so that search engine options don't pick them up randomly. Same thing with our writing name. My original writing name was Jay Gray, and you can't write under that name because Gray is such a common word, and the initial J, obviously, search engines just mixed the J up with everything else. So I was literally not getting anybody that was able to find me. So we had to give up on that and move on to a different name. So yeah, search engines aren't very accurate because they simply don't understand the difference between one thing and another. They're searching for what you type in. And that's true of all machinery, all computers. And only as good as the information you put into them.
Computers?
Use commas to separate names and titles. To search for individual names or titles, use commas to separate them. To find sites that mention both Steve Jobs and Bill Gates, type Steve Jobs, comma, Bill Gates. I think these days they're a lot more intelligent. Search engines have become smarter. I don't think that's necessary these days. If a comma is not used between names, it will be treated as one long single name. It won't. It just won't. Use double quotation marks around words or hyphens between words that must appear next to each other. For example, type amazing pet tricks or amazing pet tricks to find sites with those words adjacent to each other. That's true today. If you put quotes around something, it has to search for words in that order. So it is a good way of cutting things down. Also, it's the way we search for plagiarism. So if you give me a brilliant piece of writing that is way better than I think it's going to be, I find a sentence that I know you wouldn't have constructed, I put it in quotation marks, drop it into Google, and I find out where you copied the work from.
Oh dear.
It takes seconds, literally seconds. I had a student once who wrote a fantastic story, and all he'd done is change the names of 2 of the characters. Everything else was exactly as it was. He was only in grade 8, he wasn't very smart. So of course I Googled it. It was quite funny actually. I Googled it, and then I confronted him in class and said, "Did you write this story?" "Oh yeah. I said, "Are you sure? We're going to read some stories now." And I've got some papers here with the stories we're going to read. Did you did you write this or did you copy it? Oh no, I definitely wrote it. So I handed him a copy of the original, printed out for him. He's like, yeah, okay, I copied it. Well, we're always going to catch you because we know.
Can't catch me!
Otherwise, Found It, whatever the hell that is, will find sites that include the word amazing and the word pet and the word tricks rather. When using hyphens, be sure that you leave no spaces between the words. Remember, double quotes make the search case sensitive, hyphens do not. I actually didn't know that, that might be true. Use a plus sign in front of a word that must appear to include a word that you are searching for and increase the precision of your search type. City guides plus San Francisco. I've never tried that, I don't know if it works. Leave a space between the plus sign and the word that must appear. Okay, that makes sense. I've never tried that, but I will actually. I'll see if that works. It probably does. Both proper names and full questions are understood by Found It. For example, to find sites about caring for orchids, type growing orchids indoors. Okay. To use a pipe, never even heard of that. To search for a certain set of results only. The command is used to narrow search results by searching one word or phrase and then searching another word or phrase within that set of results. For example, type dogs, Dalmatians. Okay.
You know, because I care about this project.
Makes sense. Search for a specific link or URL. To search for a page containing a specific link or URL, type link or URL. For example, type www.thereitis.com or URL. To see how many external links point to Found It, note that unlike other search engines, Found It provides an exact count of matches, not approximations. I think they all do that these days. I mean, we're down to a point where there really is only Google, DuckDuckGo, there's a couple of other ones, Bing, but it's now become such big money that the small guys have been swallowed up. That's an interesting thing, actually. If you look, Google have become huge, Bing is trying to become huge, but probably won't. And then we've got some other smaller ones like DuckDuckGo. I use startpage.com because it's anonymous, but it uses Google. So there are only a few major search engines that do all the work. And these big giant corporations swallowed up all the small ones and they disappeared. Isn't it funny that that happened and now the exact same thing is happening with everything else? Search for a specific site and its related pages. The site field search examines the site part of the URL only. This query, the site sun.com, will search for sites such as javasun.com, etc., etc. Playground in the sun.com, but won't match any site that ends in sun.co.uk. The search can use field search to bring up all pages at a particular website. For more information on field searches, use quick reference to syntax. Select the set of information you want to search. Use the buttons next to the search box to search other sets of information besides web pages. News. Got news stories from the past month? The news collection contains headlines, world news, and news on business, politics, entertainment, and sport. The collection is updated daily. Usenet. Usenet news groups give you the scoop on what people are saying on the internet. News groups are forums for discussion in which people talk by posting articles to the news groups. Whatever your interest, there's a Usenet news group discussion about it. I don't think they're very popular anymore. And companies access detailed information on over 45,000 leading public and private companies in the US, including stock prices, Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC updates, and more. If you're not sure which choice to make, leave the choice box set to the web, which is default, for a collection that captures most of the web. I mean, this is, again, very, very out of date. I think some of the information here would be useful because not that much has changed in terms of the way the basic user interface operates. But essentially, this is old stuff. Yeah, so I don't think there's anything really challenging in here. I think Found It, I don't even know if Found It exists. I have never heard of it myself. Let's have a look. Found It. Let's not add spaces. Found It. Nope. The site can't be reached. Okay. There is no such thing as Found It. I don't think there ever was. I've certainly never heard of it, unless it was very specifically American. Oh my God. Foundit.com, a big data platform for understanding customer intent. Maybe it survived. I've never heard of it before. It's very, very slow. Maybe it doesn't exist anymore. Does it say if it's foundit.com? Morris, can I again? Oh no. No, it won't let me in. It's saying there's a problem with the website.
I'm shocked.
That's interesting. I've tried to find Foundit off of Google, and Google says, no, this website is not safe. It's very dangerous. If you go there, terrible things might happen to you. That's very interesting. I wonder if Google are using their power to just simply block smaller, less well-known search engines. I bet there's something to that.
But then this happened.
Of course, when that article was written, things were different. Let's have a look at the top 5 things you can't find on Google. So I'm going on a website now. We're going to have a look at the top 5 things that Google is apparently unable to find. Number 1. Can't even work out how this site works. Blah, blah, blah. Inspiration. You will never find life-changing inspiration. I've had a handful of experiences that were so powerful they changed my life. Well, of course you're not going to find inspiration from Google. It's a search engine. It's supposed to find you the information that you're supposed to use to do things. Love. I'm not trying to be cute here, just saying you'll never find true love that way. Okay, I don't really understand why anyone's looking for love on Google. I mean, you're not going to Google my perfect partner and expect someone to pop up, are you? I mean, that doesn't make any sense. Yourself. Self-help genre has expanded well beyond Barnes & Noble. Again, you can find yourself. I once Googled my name and found some really terrifying things. Life. Okay, this is just stupid. Okay, Steve Toback. Author of Real Leaders Don't Follow and Being Extraordinary in the Age of the Entrepreneur. I think we can safely say that he's an idiot. So let's move on from that. It was a complete waste of time. 10 things you should never, ever search on Google. Okay, so these are a list of 10 things that Google can find you that you should probably not look for. And I'm obviously not going to leave you any links or anything because you shouldn't look for them. Number 1, the death clock. Okay, I don't know about you, I don't know when I'm going to die. You've ignored it and searched it anyway, right? So apparently there's a website that will tell you when you're going to die. Okay, and it has a voice and it tells you. Okay, that's really, really horrible. What would you do? Would you go on a website that tells you when you're going to die? I mean, it's only going to take your age, your race, your gender, and make sort of guesses about it. So while the liberals are saying, you shouldn't judge a person on their superficial appearances, these websites say, well, actually, scientifically, we absolutely do. But no, I don't think I'd bother because it's not going to be good news. If it was good news, I'd find out that I've only got a couple of days of this nightmare left. Lazy Sundays. Okay, there are no words to describe this unless you're into old men who enjoy scrubbing each other in the shower. All right, we're going to move on. Snape wives. What? A group of middle-aged women on the internet who believe they are all married to Severus Snape from the Harry Potter books or the astral plane. They have real-life meetings where they take turns channeling the spirit of Snape so they can have wedding ceremonies with him. Don't go there. Bed bugs and pretty much any type of home pest. Actually, that's true. I've looked them up as well, mites and things. And when you see what they actually look like, they're pretty awful. And of course, they're in your bed, they're in your clothes, they're in your hair, they're in your skin. Don't look up skin mites because they're awful. Bed bugs and pretty much any time. Okay, my testicles hurt. If you have any health problems related to the embarrassing part of your body, go to the medic. Don't look up parts of your body on the internet. Okay, all right. Never Google your name. Yeah, I can promise you that's a bad idea. One of two things will happen. There is no record of you online and you will realize what a complete and utter failure you are, or you'll find out things about yourself that you didn't want to know. Both of those happened to me. Elephantiasis. It's a skin disease characterized by the thickening of underlying tissue, especially legs and, oh dear. Yeah, let's not. Blue waffle disease. There is. It just says don't do it. Let's have a click. Oh my God! Don't do it. Don't do it. Going back. Okay. Okay. Tetris fanfic. Tetris. There's a. Oh my God. There's a type of sexually charged fan fiction inspired by Tetris. What? There's actually a little piece of one of these fanfics, and it's just what you think it is. It's pixels doing stuff. Okay.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
Okay. Tub Girl, number 1. Tub Girl. Never search on Google. It doesn't have a picture. Do you know the games where you have to concentrate really, really hard? I know those things. Those things are hilarious. You know, games where you focus really hard on the screen and you have to work out the puzzle, and then all of a sudden something will come out and scream at you. Okay, I've seen those before. One of those, we did those at work once, and we had this girl from some small African country, and we put it on for her, and it just came out and screamed out, and she just looked and went, what? Just had no fear at all of it. And we tried it to another one, her friend, and she was not happy. Yeah, so okay, the 10 things not to look for on Google and the top 5 things you can't find on Google. I think you'd have to be borderline non-functional upstairs to think you can find love or something like it on the internet. But there are things on Google you can't find. Google censorship is real. There are thousands, hundreds of thousands of businesses that are blocked. There's a lot of other things that are being blocked as well. Lots and lots of things are kept from you. They talk about the deep web. There's something like only about 5% of the internet is available through Google. The rest is just censored and you can't find it, and Google won't even look for it. So search engines can't find you love, can find you horrific pictures of people doing things that we don't want to know about, and limited, very, very limited. Depends on who's running it. Just for a moment though, consider the danger of this. Consider that, you know, the people giving you all the information about everything that you know are in control of what information you're not allowed to see. Now bear that in mind. As a wild example, the Holocaust during World War II is that the Nazis killed 6 million Jews. They gassed them to death and then burned the bodies. And you're not allowed to question that. Legally, in Europe, you are not allowed to say, I don't think that's true. If you do, you're sent to prison. Now, that's very interesting. And somebody said, the truth does not fear investigation. And it doesn't. The truth would invite investigation, because any investigation is only going to support the truth. You never ever have a law, you never have any kind of taboo about something that is true. It's like we never see adverts for drinking water. You know you've got to have it, you know you've got to drink it, so people don't need to advertise it. You just choose the one you like. You never see adverts for that, nor will you ever see a fact checker checking a real fact. No one's ever going to argue with you if you say the sun is going to come up tomorrow morning. We all know.
No, I can never argue. When do I argue?
So an interesting insight into how the world works, or how it sort of fails to work for most of the time. All right, guys, so I'm going to give you time to do those, only 8 questions. So do those 8 questions, and then we'll come back with 8 answers and we'll see what you came up with. So, let's see what you came up with. Understanding the text. List the 2 ways that you can use to conduct a search on this search engine. Well, there's lots. I don't understand that. List the 2 ways you can use to conduct a search. I mean, there's lots of ways. You can type in various different things and press the button. I don't think there's any other way. I mean, in one way or another, you're pressing buttons and typing in search options. I don't really understand that question. There's how to search. There's only one section that says how to search, and it's the whole thing. So I don't know if there are two ways, unless I'm missing something here. That doesn't make sense. So when the video is over, we'll have a quick discussion. You can tell me why I'm wrong. Number two, when would you use capital letters in the keywords? When it's a proper name, either the name of a country, a place, or a person. You type Jack, capital J, otherwise you're going to hit small j jacks, which are those things that pull up cars when the wheels break. So you'd have to put in a capital. What search terms would you enter if you were searching for African Adventure Holidays on Found It? Write out the keywords exactly as you would enter them in the search box on the website. I guess you would type in exactly as it was written here, African Adventure Holidays with African with a capital A. I would probably put them in inverted commas, the double quotes, so that we search for African Adventure Holidays, or perhaps Africa Holidays with a hyphen, Adventure Holidays with a hyphen and Africa separately. So something along those lines so that we hit Adventure Holidays in Africa. We could also use the pipe thing to search for Africa inside Adventure Holidays or Adventure Holidays inside Africa. All of those would work. Explain what entering a plus sign in front of a word does for the search. The idea of that is that you're searching for something and something else. So if I was to search for school plus English, I would be looking for all the websites that are talking about schools, and then I would be adding the phrase English. So it would only hit the engines would only hit websites that have school and mention the word English. So you'd be saying all of the things that have this and have to add that. Otherwise the search engine would sometimes knock words out if it's trying to get more results or more popular results. Because these, I mean, you do understand, of course, that Google makes billions and billions of dollars, and you don't pay for it. So obviously, if you're not paying for a service, you're the product. You understand that, I hope. You are the product in terms of Google search engines. So what they're doing is Google is selling advertising space to these large corporations, and you're the product. You're going in there to find these corporate websites. The way they do that is by prioritizing certain hits. So if you search for schools in Phnom Penh, this one's going to come up because it's larger, and this one pays to advertise on Google, so they pay to get themselves in the top 10. It's as simple as that. You see the paid adverts at the top, but also as it goes down, those people are sponsoring Google. There's money changing hands, which is why they're prioritizing certain hits. What does adjacent mean? Next to? You should know that. Explain what it means to increase the precision. So increasing the precision makes something more accurate or more precise. In terms of firearms, precision means hitting the target, hitting a smaller target as we become more precise. For instance, a shotgun spreads shot everywhere. They're very imprecise. But there's a reason for that. It's because they're designed to hit close, fast-moving targets. You can't be precise because you're not going to hit a bird as it travels 100 yards away from you, so you have to spread shot everywhere. It's the same thinking in terms of machine gun. They fire multiple bullets. They're imprecise, but they're designed to hit things that are very small and difficult to hit. Precision requires accuracy and skill. So precision is hitting a smaller thing more accurately. Simple as that. So increasing the precision of a website, or of a search engine rather, means adding more search details so that it can find it more easily. Default, the last line, default is what things are set to as standard. So Teacher Jack's default setting is being tired and requiring coffee. That's where I'm set. When I get out of bed in the morning, that's my default setting. My function is get out of bed as quickly as possible, get out into the world, get some coffee. Explain the purpose of these instructions. Think about who they are for and what they are used for. Explain the purpose of these instructions. I'm not sure where those instructions are supposed to be, so I'm lacking context. Explain the purpose of these instructions. Not really sure what that's all about. Without the context of that, I'm not sure what the question is meant to be asking me. Who they are for and what they are used for. No idea, because there's literally no context. The book has failed me, or I'm failing the book. Maybe I haven't had enough coffee yet this morning, I don't know. But that makes no sense to me. So, okay, so that's a brief look at retro search engine information. responding to the text. Look for 2 search engines on the internet. There's only about 4 or 5 left. Go to their instructions for doing the search and compare the instructions given to each. Identify the strengths and weaknesses. I think they're all pretty much the same. I don't think that's relevant anymore. So that's all there is for that. Well done for paying attention, well done for staying awake. I'm going to stop the video now and we're going to see what you came up with as answers, and then I'm going to set you your homework. Thanks very much.